not going to be able to get it done to get to that map 3 quite just yet. T1 persevering off the back of the heroics here from Meteor.
He was really aggressive after being forced into that smoke on those salvos. Had a great read that they would just be abandoning that space. You know, because a lot of mid attention has been shown by ZETA most of the rounds. Bit of a gamble and it pays off. Stack's gonna find Sugar Zero. And Depp trying to catch him in the back.
An opportunity for a punish. A kill, a death, gets him the dimensional drift for the next round, and right now Stacks is not reading it at all. So Depp will be able to go ahead, find the ult with that elimination. Now hightails it out over towards safety. Buzz desperately wanting to get some revenge here for his fallen duo, but not quite going to be able to pursue deep enough. So 12 to 10. We continue onward, and with every single moment, I feel like that overtime is getting closer and closer.
For sure. I think it's kind of funny. I'm pretty sure 3 out of the 4 rounds that T1 has won in this half have been on time.
Could very well be the case. We'll get a nice little zoom in and a full screen for Meteor, though. Another congratulations to him.
Just absolutely unbelievable player. 2 times Masters winner. Pacific. Domination from him. Texture not too far behind in the kill count. See what Gen G has in store. And this time, Depp's gonna maybe try that TP play in the ropes again. Oh my God.
Stacks sprinting away, dimensional drift. Depp hot on his heels. Chasing forward, seeking some information. Is able to spot out too. Exits over at elbow. Izu swinging the corner, jumps out, finds the kill, but not before Stacks has fallen. Draws back out with the operator, puts down XCL. Buzz out of heaven, finds Sugar Zero, and suddenly it's just Shota. And Spike stranded at main. It's T1. It's never really been easy for them, but they continue to fight here. On split, they continue to try to chase these overtimes. Now they're just one away from making it happen. Economy broken down a bit here on the side of ZETA Division.
Oh man, Izu, as soon as Stacks is like backpedaling out of B Heaven, Izu swaps right to the shorty, just ready for wherever the hell Depp's gonna come out of that thing. Great awareness, swaps right over to the op. Only one more now for T1 to send it to OT. It's gonna be a little bit of a scuffed by too for ZETA. Spectre, Stinger, 2 Guardians. Trying to clear the util. Ooh, good jiggle.
Gonna re-peek for it. They're already in pretty deep though. As Izu backpedaling away, tries to go for a quick little shot there with a shorty, hoping that he just catches any kind of stray shots there, but Meteor has been felled. Sugar Zero finding the first as Sylvan dancing around, offers up a bit of damage there. As Buzz finds 2, Stacks getting another. XCL gonna be taken down. Now the 3v2. Push out of the smoke. Sylvan eliminated. Who's able to find one? The Armageddon gonna be drawn out, but there's the cleanup. 12 to 12. Only bangers on split, baby.
You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Also, I called it a bit ago, so it turns out we do have the powers today.
What can we say?
Yep. Should we use it responsibly, or should we, you know?
You're welcome, everyone.
I was a little bit worried here for T1. And Buzz finds 2 huge kills up top. Wow, that second shot. The fact that that hit, he got aim punched and was somehow able to readjust. That's pretty nasty from Buzz. That got me fired up. The fact that he gets that kill is just absolutely huge. Our Yoru's dueling for kill supremacy. 23 for Depp, 24 or 20 for Izu. A little bit of a similar start here. T1 anticipating some Sugar Zero pressure, but Sugar Zero learned his lesson after getting killed on that tight angle that Buzz took previously. Be a little bit patient. But they've found the weak side. Meteor's going to try to lurk mid. Let's see what the execute looks like here. Send the TP.
Zero held back for the moment on the wider swing out. He's able to find one. Paranoia, however, not connecting, and Buzz anticipating the push out from Ali, but Depp drops out of heaven, finds one. Stacks fighting back a little bit, but down to 10 HP. Stuck here behind the box, back turn clues. Able to find the punish, but Meteor out at heaven, finding one. No real read on the position. The arrival here of XDL. Meteor, he's not flush against the box, and his head is gonna be spotted as XCL cleans it up. ZETA will get themselves the first round here at overtime. Map point once again in their hands.
Man, Sugar Zero plays this round so well. From the get-go, anticipating the pressure from T1. Sees kind of a similar util start to what he's seen previously. Just backpedals, and he's able to dodge a lot of the early util and find an angle to kill the entry player. Even though Buzz does end up finding just a nice fallback play from Sugar Zero to kind of buy a little bit extra time for other ZETA players to get into position. And they're feeling it today. A lot of the classic ZETA nice coming through. The glass cannon for Izu is going to be bought. TP play trying to set up off the back of the util, but nobody home. Sylvan, as usual, chilling on B back. And it's going to be a bit of a fact-finding mission for the rest of ZETA. Couldn't find one of those early picks, so off to the info game they go, and something they've been doing really well on this map, for the most part. Keeping track of all the kind of formations that T1 wants to set up, trying to hide the player, but I don't think...
Might not have caught Izu, but it's really hard to say.
Yeah.
Really peeking out. And Clues, what is that? Challenge!
Goodness.
Unreal. Operator now on the floor. Big force push. Purchase coming in. Stacks now going to be taken down as well. ZETA Division in a 5v3. Look to take this to a third and final map, but good God, Buzz still snappy as all hell. Flash up over the top. Makes his exit. Narrowly escapes. Life intact. The rest of the team getting ready to push forward. Paint shells into main to delay to try to soften him up, and Meteor unable to find a damn thing as XCL comes away with two. Sylvan, though, last one standing, cannot make it happen. 14-12. They trade each other's map picks. And ZETA Division, best T1 on split. We are not done yet. Haven is coming up next.
I am so thrilled with what we're seeing from ZETA Division today, putting up a great fight. You know, looked good on the first half of Fracture, looked good all throughout Split. Good reads, good understanding, good coordination, using this more meta comp very effectively, and doing something that a lot of teams couldn't do at Masters Bangkok, and that's beating T1 on Split, other than EDG.
Well, now they're going to have to beat them on another map that other teams weren't able to beat them on, which is that Haven. A former comfortable spot for the side of ZETA Division, but how do they look in the current meta? That is going to be the question, but it has been a breath of fresh air here today, even on the loss there on Fracture. There were some good ideas, there was some good plays, some crisp aim. And here on Split, ZETA Division are actually able to get it done. Now, I'm sure I'm going to have many a person attempting to remind me, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get ahead of that right now and remind everybody else. Yes, I have a bet riding on this series, and if ZETA Division do close out this set versus T1,
right.
I will be donating $200 to charity, and I will do it very, very happily because, good God, what a performance here from ZETA to take us the distance, to get us to that map of Haven. Can they fully complete this? Can they get that victory? That's what we have to wait and see.
I'm just stoked. I'm just stoked for ZETA. This is what we want.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we want. Let's hear what the analyst desk wants. We pass it back over to them.
I like when Seth donates money. I think this is always a good thing, especially for charity. Good cause. Now, when T1 pushed us into an overtime, I thought this was it. This is going to be a 2-0, but good try, ZETA Division. But they changed it up. They were doing a lot of repeat tactics, and they changed it up in that overtime, and it helped push them over the line.
Yeah, I think for ZETA, we've seen like 3 really good halves of Valorant. Like the second half of Fracture wasn't that fantastic, but they started off this map really well. They had a lot of great reads. I think this is the benefit of being able to sit back at home, watch exactly what T1's going to do. They've had to show absolutely everything. They played so many maps on Split over at Masters Bangkok, and it really did feel like especially in those first couple of rounds of the defensive half for ZETA, they knew exactly what T1 was doing, and they were just hard countering it. You saw like the breach set up for the Teo +1, Depth to go and duel the Meteor lurking over A on the Viper. You saw them be a step ahead and play those off angles and shut down their B execute before they were even able to really get it going. Not only did ZETA have a really good idea of what T1 wanted to do routine-wise on their attacking side, but they knew exactly where to play as well, even in some of the side executes, and what off angles would be super effective, what positions would be super effective, and you saw a lot of very active timeouts. So I feel like the coaching staff has prepared ZETA very, very well for this game. They seem to have a great approach.
Have to agree with you there. I mean, it felt like they were able to neutralize this double duelist that T1 were trying to bring in. Also, got to highlight the composure to be able to close that out in overtime. T1 were coming back. They were coming at you furiously, you know, trying to end that game, try and make it that 2-0, but ZETA did a great job to actually get it across the line. That's a much harder skill than it looks to get those crucial rounds.
I thought it was really interesting. The casters mentioned this as well. There are quite a number of rounds that ZETA dropped in the second half to time, and they decided to, you know, hold on to those guns, carry forth into the next round. And I don't know if that's the best tactic, but it worked.
They are playing slow, but it's clearly a style that is working for them.
I mean, this is another kind of late round situation where ZETA's into the side. It's just absolute chaos. In the post plant, you get another knife kill, but this is where I feel like ZETA has been able to kind of hold their composure a little bit more. They're able to set themselves up some favorable scenarios on that attacking side in the post plant. I think the defense definitely impressed me a little bit more than some of these chaotic attacking rounds. You know, you even saw it towards the end of the game where things are really coming down to the wire, but Depp had a phenomenal game.
Oh, what a game. It's prime Depp. He's back. He's wearing the Durka hat, so he's playing like Durka. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, I mean, like this off angle is a perfect example of positionally, like ZETA being able to play around really well what T1 is doing. You can see they've got the reactive utility ready as well. You know, you're able to play around the default there, isolate the player going into ropes. It was just a great game from Depp on the Yoru.
Yeah, he just looked very, very comfortable there the whole way through the game. You know, he started that first half electrically as well. I think he was on 15 or more kills at the half, so very, very good. You know, we expect Depp to lead from the front in this ZETA team, so really nice to see him step up and do that. But we have to say, he has to do it again. It's Haven coming, which is not exactly a bad map for T1.
It's not a bad map for ZETA Division either, historically. Yeah. I mean, we still have Depp on the squad, but I do wonder how this is going to go, and I can see why. At the end of kickoff, you know, ZETA Division had a meet and greet, and the coaches, Carlisle, XQQ, they didn't seem too flustered about their loss. They're like, yeah, we'll be fine, stage one, and I can see why. I can see why they didn't make any roster changes at all. It seems that they do have all the right pieces. I don't know how much of their playstyle has actually changed, though. I think it still feels very ZETA Division, but a lot more refined.
Yeah, I think you can see they've juggled around a couple of roles, though. Like, Clues is playing like Teo or like Info in it. They've got XDL on the breach. He's actually had a really good series so far. He's been very, very solid. He's had some good utility. He's had some good multi-frags as well. Depp always delivers, as we expect. You know, Sugar Zero's been pretty solid on both maps. I think they've honestly played a pretty good game today. I agree with you as well, Vic. I mean, you go back to the off-season results for ZETA, and Haven has been a very comfortable map for them. So I really wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be one that they don't mind too much. They do like to play this default comp, though, and it's something that Achilleos was mentioning on the cast. It's like, in this current meta, can ZETA play what they were playing a couple of months ago, that they were playing, you know, split 2 of last year with their old roster, where it is very much this Neon, Depp on the Neon, and then the very solid standard Haven comp. For T1 as well, they love this ISO Yoru, but what I saw from that last game is that ZETA clearly has a pretty good read on what T1 wants to be doing, especially off the back of their Masters VODs, but when T1 changed their comp going into Fracture, that was much harder for ZETA to deal with. So do you just play something a little bit different for T1 here, or do you back yourself because you've had a really good streak on this map so far?
If I'm T1, I don't change a thing. I go back to this ISO. I spoke about it all the time in kickoff. Meteor's ISO is unbelievable. They ran this comp through Masters, and everybody knew what was coming. It's simple, right? It's this double duelist style with the Yoru ISO. It's not crazy techy, it's not crazy complicated, and they backed themselves the whole way through Masters. They said, hey, if you can counter it, come and counter it, and not many people could. So I don't want to see them change. Don't overthink this, and I think T1 are very happy to have this as a map 3.
Now, we did move Zeta Division up a little bit on our Pacific tier list from D to like between C and D. But for sure, at this point, I can comfortably say I think they belong here with the rest of the boys in Pacific.
I honestly, like I said in the pre-show, I don't even care if they win this series, to be honest. Like, they've already shown enough to be like, they have done better than they did in kickoff, as far as I'm concerned. You know, they had not a great series against PRX in particular, who went on to have some worse of form, but against T1, that's about as legit as it gets. You're playing literally the best team in the league, and you are able to take a map off of them that they were winning internationally. That's amazing.
Now, I do want to point out, yes, they did take a map off of T1, and not to take away from that at all, but T1 so far has 11 consecutive full set matches in Pacific, meaning they've gone the full distance, whether it's a best of 3 or best of 5. So this is, you know, on form, on track for T1. This could still end either way, but you know, I know we are all quite satisfied so far with this match, and I don't know how this is going to end. Yes, it is a good map for T1, but at this point, Zeta Division has figured it out a lot.
And they're going to be riding that high, right? They just got the map win. They clinched it in overtime. You're going, oh my god, guys, we can actually beat these guys. These guys are not that good. We just ran at them. We out-aimed them. So all of a sudden, you're like, yeah, we can beat them on Haven. Pick ISO. Come on, do it.
The pressure comes in, though.
Yeah, I think that is true. I think that is true. The closer you get to actually winning the series, the more the pressure mounts. When, in theory, they shouldn't actually have any pressure in this game.
Yep.
Now, which, yes, so here are our predictions so far. I don't know if I'm going to... I don't think this is wrong, our prediction. It's clear T1 on both sides, both the Korean broadcast and here. This is reasonable. The audience did the same prediction as well. But I want to know, for Haven, who is the duelist that you want to see? It's been... You know, there's a Jet Raze meta for a while. Then we saw a little bit ISO here and there. Of course, Neon has been phenomenal early on in this year and the end of the off-season. This is a time for Waylay?
I would like to see a Waylay. I would like to see Ascent. I would like to see Icebox. I would like to see some changes, please, Pacific.
You want so much.
I know. I just want one of them. I just want one of them. Dep play Waylay. Dep play Waylay.
I know, do it.
I don't think this is a map for it, personally. Like, I want to see him on Neon, to be honest. I don't think, honestly, that Zeta need to change what they were doing before. I think they had a pretty decent formula, and I don't think the Haven meta has really changed that much. People still just play the meta comp. If anything, T1 is the exception to the rule.
Okay, all right. Well,
that's a boring answer. Give me Waylay.
I know. We have seen some deviations that have won. We've seen like the ISO play. Neon? Oh, you mean the current meta, not like the Jet meta.
T1's kind of like the off-meta approach, where they're playing the double duelist, and then you've got Viper from Gen G, but for the most part, people still play the meta comp on Haven, do they not? I mean, so far, Zeta have not really done anything that outrageous with their comps.
Guys.
So
Come
what
on,
are we going to get?
Zeta Division.
Are T1 going to back themselves, or are they going to try to throw off Zeta's prep? T1 are going to back themselves, so you're right about that, Morgan. For Zeta, though, Clues is again on the Teo, and they are going to have Dep on the Yoru. So other than that, it is the stock standard, but the Duelist and the Initiator choice is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, I do think this definitely changes it stylistically, right? You don't have that recon that Sova brings, and you have a very different drone, so it does play a little bit differently. In theory, it should be a bit faster, but I like that T1 are staying with their guns. This is what worked for them, and they clearly backed themselves going, okay, I don't care if you can see what we're doing, we're going to win.
I think the Yoru presents a lot of mind games. So you got to keep an eye on where the Yoru TP is on defense for both of these teams, because it's such a critical component of both of these teams' defense on Haven.
T1 Zeta, is your prediction remaining the same?
Remaining the same.
Yeah, I think I have to keep it the same. I mean, I trust them on this map.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but who knows? We are in Pacific, where there are always surprises. We're going to go back to our casters to take us to the very last map of the very last series of today, Achilleos and Paper Thin.
All right, here we go. Haven to decide it all for T1. Not an unfamiliar place to be in. Every single series has been arduous, has been difficult for them, as it's 11 consecutive sets here in Pacific that have gone to 3 maps.
All of their sets in Pacific this year.
Yep.
Gone the distance, even the best of 5s. Big congrats to Zeta getting their first map win of the year, too. Very nice to see.
Some noise made, so ping coming down.
This is
Sugar Zero at the ready. And there the paranoia goes. Sugar able to find one, push onto the corner. Meteor, the only one able to fight back so far, but Izu does get a piece of the action. Drop down out of window, and Depp eventually able to stabilize, finds the kill. Needing a lot more though. Is Meteor able to find the reset on the shield, pushes back out, grabs that spike. He and Stack's gonna retreat here into the C site where they threaten the plant.
That shield gets so much value here for T1. Now they can plant back sight. Depp over on the other side now, TP'd out. Trying to come at him from a couple different angles.
Bit of damage taken. Stacks and Meteor both tagged up a bit. Depp swinging around the back. Nearly finds the timing onto Stacks there at Garage. Instead, Depp now going to be looking for Meteor, but he gets a read. Finds the shot now, is looking for the 4K. He's playing it out patiently, but Stacks there. On the off angle, is able to find it, and that's going to be T1. Now 3-2 in pistols on the set, and finding the opening round victory here on Haven.
Yeah, it's a great idea on the trap play. You're just playing off a contact into a paranoia for Sugar Zero. But there's that shield, and that allows Meteor to survive. That was a headshot from ZETA. Just couldn't find the second one in time. And then he's got the shield reset. Yeah, just a really nice piece of work from the ISO. Meteor, 3 kills in that round.
Out here in window, and he's finding 2 more. 5-0 thus far, 1 away from having that kill contract online. B site very much opened up as Sylvan looks to hold down Garage and is able to do so with relative ease. Izu, it's a very nice and clean headshot on the clues. Flawless fashion. T1 close out the anti-eco and move forward into their bonus.
Yep, and that's Meteor with the ult. He's gonna have a Vandal to boot. So sorry to whoever gets caught in that. Maybe Depp can conjure up another Yoru clone that gets caught by the ult, so it doesn't matter. But
true. Do you have the tools to try to just nullify it?
Yeah. They're gonna stack up over at A. Try to put some pressure there. Meanwhile, T1 just gonna go for another Garage hit. Might just kind of be able to suss out the weak side of the map. Izu on his own, trying to push through. This might be trouble. Sneaks through, undetected potentially.
But so are these 2 players sat here, and yep, and will eventually get spotted out. Slowly drifting back across now, avoiding the salvos.
That's so much info.
And double cages rather having to be committed there for him to safely exit. Has a tripwire to cover the rear. As Spike gets planted here on the B site. Izu catching a glimpse there. Sees at least one at A main. Sylvan considering going for it there, but Depp does get snatched up here. Can he win out the fight? Obviously, shielding going to be in play, and Meteor able to go ahead and scoop up the elimination. Izu not wanting to over-challenge, just tugs back as they look for a little bit of a flood back here onto the side, but the defuse does get held up to half. Meteor, however, still alive and well, still 3 players as Shota is all on his lonesome. And it's just going to be one final tap there from Sylvan. Bonus conversion comes through. T1 starting things off dominantly here on Haven.
It's just so frustrating to play against Meteor's ISO, because it's almost like he has to screw up for you to actually beat him.
Yeah.
He's just too damn good. He's too damn clean. The double taps are just ridiculously good for him. The kill contract's nigh unbeatable.
It looks like it's a very stark difference between what we were seeing from him on his Viper.
Yeah.
There on Split. The thing is, ISO kind of enables him to play like he was playing on Viper, which is just, I'm going to donk walk out into mid, and I've got a shield that's going to cover me, and if you don't kill me before I kill you, there's just going to be this snowball effect, and you're absolutely screwed. So I think the problem is sometimes he forgets that he's not on ISO.
Yeah, right? Well, he's such a tremendous lurker, right? I mean, you saw it with Gen G, and a lot of that is the way Munchkin calls. It opens up the map a bit for him. But here he's just, he opens up the map for himself because he's just too damn good.
Well,
there you go.
Finding one as Izu similarly crisp with the headshots as they swoop in and just absolutely dominate here on the side. Buzz going to be a lone casualty thus far, and maybe the only one that we find here. As do you want to go for the plant? They say, hey, Meteor, you're halfway to another ult. We could get a neural theft, but how about you just absolutely kill everyone and get 2 charges away from your next kill contract as you go into round 5.
This is one of these moments where I could see the live stats and see the live ACS for Meteor. Because he's 9-0. I'm pretty sure he's had the first kill in like a couple of the rounds. At least 2. He is just frying. 9-0, man. No assist. No problem. Izu there. A nice round for himself, but it's so challenging, especially with just Sheriffs in hand, to contest that ISO. Now this time they're going to leave the Tejo there. Of course, you have the breach in A link. Going to help you out a little bit. But the pressure early in towards Garage. Going to use the drone and the clone. And they're just going to back off. Haven't sensed anything. There was a trap there on the pistol round. Might be something they're considering in their minds. Kind of saying, oh, well, ZETA was kind of trying to pinch us when we put this Garage pressure through. See what Depp can do. TP's all the way over at Garage, actually. That doesn't matter.
It's just offset. You do find the first as you'd expect. Clues here on the flank. Seems like he does anticipate it, but is unable to find that elimination as the cut does get sent through. Shield for now broken down, but there's the reset. Meteor still untouched. Looks for a little bit more, and XDL wisely backs away. Hops over. He's making his way up into heaven. It's Meteor. Love to get a refresh on that, but is unable to find it. Still, though, another kill. It's going to be another kill contract. This fault line will connect. Paranoia there, but nope. Expires, and Sylvan comes away with 2 eliminations. 5-0, T1 continuing on their merry way on this attack.
Yep, Meteor still not dead. Stax hasn't died either, but he's only got 2 kills. Great opener for Izu. Clues trying to hold the line. ZETA does win again, but battle against Buzz. Buzz trying to sell a little bit of attention, buy some space for the rest of his team. Sylvan, nice and clean there on that double. And yeah, Izu does have the neural theft, 1 away from the ult for Meteor. Trying to pressure Izu a bit. Heard a player up there, and that's just bait.
Okay, yeah, not expecting that. Clues will find a very nice headshot, getting the punish there on the lurk. At the same time, Buzz wanting to get involved a little bit. He's charging forward in the Garage, comes up with that kill there, Sheriff in hand. Depp around the back, scouting, Buzz noting this, Depp needing to back away. There's a fake out flash at the ready. Tries to send it in for himself, but Clues is there. Wide enough angle, gets the headshot. He's able to shut him down. Meteor now trying to pick his angle. The Armageddon going to be sent out. Paranoia fully into the face is Sylvan, but he just holds down M1 and Sugar Zero hits the floor. Pop flash out. Meteor tucks back in behind Platt. Clues into the open. Kill found. Gun barrel spotted. Depp stuck in position as Meteor is absolutely unstoppable. 6-0 for T1. 13-0 for Meteor. That's the scoreline he wants to deliver to ZETA right now on Haven.
Oh, he's just a menace. He's so good. A nice pop flash there from Buzz. Clues shuts Buzz down. Sylvan holding the line at Garage. But what can you do?
You can beg for mercy.
Yeah. Well, when the Meteor's coming at you, it's not much you can do but pray that it doesn't hit you. And he's hitting everybody right now. Gotta call a timeout. Gotta slow this down somehow. I mean, you have to imagine, you know, one way or another against T1, you're gonna be playing Lotus or Haven. You're gonna be seeing that ISO. It feels like almost guaranteed. And you can see why nobody really wants to. It's just brutal. It's
just an unstoppable performance at the moment, and the ZETA division that we were seeing on Split, the aim diffing that was coming through it oftentimes, right now not being seen at all. Meteor just absolutely unbelievable performance at the moment. He's looking like, you know, Nats on that bind versus Sentinels. He's looking like Paint versus, what, M80?
Yep.
Dropping the 500 plus ACS. Meteor chasing those numbers right now.
And look at all these ults. Both teams sitting on quite a few, but with another kill contract there.
Say there's only one that really matters.
Yep. I think it'd be really cool if like XDL let loose with a Rolling Thunder and Meteor catches him to avoid the Rolling Thunder with his ult. That'd be super sick.
Well, it sends it, and it's going to be a whiff. No one there to receive the ult.
Rip.
I mean, probably the best way to counterplay it is just sit back, wait for it to come through, and then look to re-aggress. I mean, now they're in a position where that Rolling Thunder can find a lot more value. As it thrown out, gets a suppress there. On to Sylvan, he'll slightly reposition down under window. The drop down getting ready to come through. Depp finding one. Buzz going to be taken down as well as Clues. Gets the headshot. Neural Depp now invested. Undercut goes across. Meteor tucked away. Last one standing, and this time will get flushed out. Will suffer his first death. And Zeta Division will get themselves here on the board in flawless fashion. Much needed off the back of the timeout.
Yeah, didn't even have to use the Rolling Thunder, and just a flood retake that goes extremely well. Some of the early util from the Breach Tejo catches one player, they knock down another, and T1's sort of defense just looked a little bit off balance. Looked like they weren't really able to cover each other because of that initial util dump, and T1's also playing a bit scared because of the Rolling Thunder. They have to fall back, and Zeta does a nice job of kind of using that knowledge against T1. So finally, Meteor has fell. The impact already there. Dart cleared.
He's still just chasing forward. Buzz is up into the cyber cage. Meteor blinded out, ends up falling. It's Buzz. It's traded back, but Sylvan, Izu here at lobby, able to go ahead and equalize and trade up the kill count. With the neural theft reveal, it's like they're saying, okay, they're cheating over towards this side of the map. Let's go ahead and TP forward. But Cam is there, gets the dart. Tripwire going to be cleared out. The rest of the team still looking to get into position to try to cover Sylvan's retreat.
Got a Hunter's Fury for stacks, so this post plant difficult. Have to push the tempo here. Sugar Zero has this ult. Could think about trying to get rid of stacks that way. Oh, no.
Okay, I was gonna say Cam never actually got cleared, but well, Hunter's Fury used in advance, but still is able to find a kill. Pushing Shota now on his lonesome, and Izu tucked away at the base of the window is able to find it. So a slight reprieve in the previous round for Zeta, not one that will continue. 7-1, T1 maintaining a chokehold on this game.
I really like this decision from Stacks to use that Hunter's Fury early. Kind of catching Zeta a bit off guard. And then that's pretty typical for T1 post plants on this map. They'll hide somebody on that side of the stairs all the time.
Well, last time he used Hunter's Fury on Haven, it was way too late. Spike had already been defused.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, they won the tournament. They won
I had just, I had chosen to forget about that one.
Well, Depp wanting to get aggressive, push up on the angle, but Recon ping forces him back.
Look at where Clues got tucked in. See if they're going to be ready for that.
He's been chasing forward time and time again, but with Depp hitting a hell of a headshot on the Buzz, they might very much forget about the potential for Clues to be in this position. Meteor, however, seems like he is not. Shield is not popped, but catches a glimpse, hits the headshot, but Clues is able to steady the spray. Trades it back. 13-3, now starting to figure out how they can deny this value away from the ISO. And Stack's able to fish one out there with that shock dart, but he will fall as XCL collects two here in mid. And now Izu, all on his lonesome, dodges the fault line, but has to figure out a way to recover this spike. For the time being, not watching for him. They're swinging around, checking in towards Garage. Cam is situated if he just toggles it. He'll be able to spot it out. Sends it now. One low on HP, and Izu gets it done. No mercy shown. A 4K Red Bull clutch is T1. They bleed more and more with every single round, but they refuse to let Zeta back in.
Just, it's so fearsome, the firepower that T1 has. You know, Meteor goes down and you think, okay, we've got a real shot. Nope, nope. Izu just as good. They're having quite a bit of fun now.
Did no one mention me?
Damn well better believe we are. They're just gonna walk down C, just screw it. Why not?
Somewhat regular game plan for him, coming in against these ecos. Camera gonna be cleared out. Sight. Spotting, and everything is absolutely wide open here for them.
Spike planted.
ZETA division, can they pull it off? Fake out, getting catch there on the Buzz as he frantically backpedals. Wall gonna be set up for Meteor. Slowly pushing it forward as Buzz, still maintaining control of this backside, able to find one, runs out of bullets. He's just dancing around. Meteor trying to play distract. He's able to find one more, and then his Buzz repeats. He gets the clat, and I don't know how, but it's a flawless for T1.
It didn't feel like it was, did it?
No.
It's just good push and pull. I mean, Buzz there bailing himself out with some of his util. The Meteor able to step in after the fact. Stack's just barely able to drag that Phantom Spray, find the headshot, and a great flash for himself. Find the collat. They're just laughing. They're having a good time now. This team is so fearsome on this map. This composition is so well put together. Sylvan getting pressured. Is he going to read that this is actually a big hit? Well, again,
Drone
stealth
coming his
drone.
way.
Yep.
Should anticipate there's going to be somebody pushing off the back of that.
Oh, look at that.
It would be the Yoru, and yeah, I mean, they just have a firing squad set up for it. Meteor's right back on the horse. 14 kills for him.
Just looked like he fell off the horse. It's like he's just gotten underneath it just to make it look like he wasn't there.
He swung back around.
Yep.
Okay, Cam getting the spot out. Paranoia going to be sent, but Buzz is up into the face with a shorty in hand. Shota dead by covering fire. Two remaining players giving the buy up. Likely going to have to just go for a save here.
This will also give the kill contract to Meteor.
My ult is ready.
Third in the half. 15-3-1. Sylvan on the prowl. Opposite check in towards garage. Nothing going to be noted there. The rest of T1 fanning out, wanting to get these weapons out of the hands of the players, and Meteor will catch a timing. Clues delivering the fourth death. And then swiftly getting caught. Sylvan able to find it, reads a position at backside, but doesn't confirm it. Sylvan's still very suspicious, so much so that he actually sends out the Paranoia. Swing onto the corner, and XDL has no idea. 10-1. T1 just looking to bring this evening to a swift conclusion.
Yep, it's a rough go of it for ZETA, but kind of suspected it might be coming into this map. I mean, just look at the coordination here. They're just, I mean, again, Sylvan just holds down M1 through one of Sugar Zero's Paranoias. Just is so impactful on this Omen. He's not too far behind Izu. Actually, he's ahead of Izu now in the kill department. He's 12-4-3. So everybody getting involved. 4T1 on this. No one wants to be left out of it.
Oh.
Hello?
Well, Meteor chasing in. This could take it down. Shota going to be eliminated though. Buzz with that shorty, close range, able to close one out. Catches a quick little glimpse into Sugar Zero, but things start going a little bit wonky. Shots through. Somehow, some way, ZETA managed to rally back here in the final round of the half. Find a very comfortable shutdown, but 10-2.
Well, that time, ZETA.
This is brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal. ZETA gets some of the util to land this time. Stinger, good counter to the ISO. And then they get the Rolling Thunder to hit. Sugar Zero just kind of knows somebody's in there. And then the clone gets tagged up. Still some good vibes there on ZETA, despite the brutal scoreline. And generally, frankly, folks, it actually doesn't get too much easier for anybody. Even though Haven, slightly attacker-sided map, the defender side for T1 is very fearsome. The way they pilot this is very troublesome. They have a lot of cool combos that you can set up, even with the ISO. It isn't just the ISO running around by itself. A lot of push and pull. You'll see some cool stuff with like Stacks and Buzz over at A Long to kind of set him up with the Yoru. Very tricky.
Just 20 more seconds to discuss how ZETA can begin one of the biggest run backs in the history of Valorant. Not something that we see very often, let alone against a championship team. ZETA, though, were able to put their talent on display on Split. Need to see a bit more of that magic shining through. Please turn this around, make this last map a competitive one. See how they fare. T1 for the moment in the lead by 1 as far as the pistols are concerned. And it feels like
all missiles away.
They can find themselves a 4th. Get up to 11. This map is likely done and dusted.
Trying to dissuade the early mid push out on the pistol round. And they're really wary of that. Even sending XDL over to do a little bit of checking. Stacks able to hold on to that recon just a little bit longer. Gonna get to confirm that there's a couple players over there. So Meteor gonna swing in. Shock dart should connect. Oh yeah.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah.
Right here.
Calm down, Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Flushed out of the corner. Depp able to find one, pushes up into the smoke. Zach still ice over at the sewers exit, trying to see if he can spot anybody else. Still been able to find one though. Showtime going to be taken down. Depp dealt with here as Izu frantically. He's looking for targets. He's looking for bullets, and he can't find either. Buzz now here from main. Last one standing. XDL tagged up a bit. Tap on the plant. Buzz rushing forward. Finds the first, but cannot get that second and final. Clues will survive, as do ZETA. So he can pick up the pistol win.
Yeah, they do a good job here, just kind of brute forcing their way through. And the reinforcements for T1 just a little bit late, but that being said, Depth there, able to take out Meteor right off the rip. Sylvan finds a right click through the smoke. That helps when Stacks had damaged him up a bit, I suspect. And then a push out, firing line. Izu runs out of bullets, probably dead anyway. Nice round for ZETA. Good moral victory there. They can string some rounds together. Only Meteor going to be buying up with the Sheriff.
Only Shota moving into the round with a Ghost. Everybody else, significant firepower.
Yeah, Buzz tucked up close and personal. Oh my God.
Hey?
This is not fair. What's the counterplay there?
Have a differently shaped head model so you don't get hit by the bullet.
Just nasty.
Unbelievable.
And Stacks is going to try to sell this position. Maybe. Thought he was, but he's backed off. Sota's watching sewers, expecting some kind of play there.
Stacks is trying to watch here.
They pinged the wrong corner.
There's the push out. Yep. So they're going to be caught. Buzz is flashing himself across, able to go ahead, scoop up the weapon, and this is going to be potentially catastrophic for ZETA Division if they can't close out this round. 3v5. Everyone from T1 now encroaching on their position, working their way up in towards A lobby. And ZETA gonna kind of cross through B. Do they plant here is the question. Looks like the answer is going to be yes. The other players fan out. Not seeing anything at this connector spot should tell them they have to pay attention to window.
There's still a lot of util here for T1 to work with. They have a Paranoia, still have a vulnerable for Meteor. They could clear this space, and that's why ZETA's fanning the heck out. They're also trying to figure out where everybody is.
Sending out the classic players, trying to bound forward. Scout here for them. The defuse has already been held to half. That's okay. Clues XCL getting one a pop. Now arriving the aftershock to try to further delay, but they're just going to wait it out, but no! The elimination comes in just in time, right before that defuse goes through. That would have been absolutely back-breaking for ZETA. They do manage to scrape by with the round win.
Yeah, they still take a ton of economic damage. Shows you the power, though, of the Tejo breach. Sorry, my mind got fried by that shot by Meteor. Just absolutely melted me. Feel bad for Sugar Zero. But, you know, with that combo you can have with the aftershocks and the salvos and everything, makes it really challenging for T1 in that situation, even with the gun disadvantage coming into play as well. But now they're able to buy up, get those rifles in hand. Depp trying to push through. This is a full 5 stack here, but T1's got their strong side on A, leaning heavily into this.
Buzz spotting out one, takes the gate crash out. I'm just leaving 2 players here on this A site. ZETA pushing closer and closer here as shield gets popped by Meteor. Sees one, shield broken, Shota able to play off the back of that, and Meteor ends up falling. Buzz bouncing away, stacks with the crossfire, turns his sights over, finding depth. Sugar Zero now going to be picked apart. Izu ends up falling, but Stax still in this position, still persevering. Dodges the salvos, spots him out. Shota dead. So now comes down to a 1v1. The spike is in hand here for Clues. He's going to look to reroute. He's going to look to fake.
Oh, Stax.
He's right around into heaven.
Oh, you might catch him.
30 seconds left.
He's peeking over towards the sewer side.
He has no idea.
Single shock dart in hand here for Stax. Here's the tap down below. Catches a glimpse, and it's more than enough. A 4K from Stax. Still some solid damage dealt here from Zeta Division, but they're not able to close out, convert this bonus. That means that T1 now move up to 11-round wins.
Yeah, maybe a little overconfidence there from Meteor, but with the scoreline as it is, you can afford to go for plays like that. Nice double stack, good patience. I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, you know Meteor's there, just wait out or try to double stack his double tap, and they play it to perfection. It's gonna be a scrappy buy, Outlaw for Buzz, Judge for Sylvan, Guardian for Izu. Of course, Sylvan just gonna tuck right in. A lot of players though without much armor for the side of Zeta, so.
At top of the box, and finds the shot to put Buzz down to 30.
He also had an Outlaw.
Dip wins the fight there. Buzz with the regen shield does get back up to 55 health overall.
Locating targets.
This drone will chase forward. Snooping around the B site. Nothing going to be spotted there. Cam still in the setup. Catches XDL now. Hunter's Fury opening up, and Paranoia as well flies through. He's able to find one. Sylvan holding down Garage. Buzz flooding back forward. Gets rid of Sugar Zero. And Depth does not stand a chance. A team ace takes T1 up to match point.
I just love the patience here. Waiting for the confirmation on the camera before they make their hit. And they just all flood in together. Just have Zeta scrambling because they're coming from so many different directions. Sugar Zero, nice spray with the stinger, but Shota's trying to find a flank, and Sylvan's just been sat there the whole damn round. Let's go, let's go.
17-8-3.
He's having a pretty good game.
There's
There's not going to be enough rounds for him to get to 20 kills.
Yeah. As he goes off in this one.
Could do that.
See here that the Revolutionary War was formally ended with the Paris Treaty, I believe.
What?
1783.
Oh. That's really random that you know that.
What can I say? Pub trivia. Armageddon. Called in to try to open things up. Stax not wanting to take a chance. Breaks the fake. Meteor forced away. Shield already broken. And Sugar Zero keeping forward, trying to take some space very aggressively and lock these players out. Buzz sees him. Can't react fast enough. Sugar Zero with a headshot. Breaks him down. Sylvan here in heaven. Just checking around. Cubby going to be cleared out.
Cover going out.
There's players on all sides of the site. Sylvan's able to find the first depth. Intercepting with the stinger in hand, finding himself another. That is going to be Zeta holding on by a thread. Getting up to 5.
Yeah, this is really interesting from Zeta because T1 is aggressive off the rip towards mid, something they were checking for in the pistol round. This time, there's a trap wire there, and they're able to kind of take a pause, wait that out, find some cheeky off angles, catch the T1 players off guard, get the kill, and that's going to be a timeout. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. I don't mind it. Just, you know, end this. If you're T1, that's what you're thinking. You know, you've had some fun. Maybe as a coach, sometimes you might hear your players kind of getting a little too goofy because they've been, you know, clapping, and you kind of don't want those bad habits to creep in. So, 100%.
It's the same thing. You're playing with your friends online,
Yeah.
having a good map. Everything starts off really well, and then the enemy team starts running it back, and you have to try to calm them down. Be like, guys, can we focus here?
Can we lock in, please? Is that possible?
Not trying to, actually lose my points here. So,
I'd like to keep my MMR, if that's okay. I mean,
we'll see though. Does this deliver the end of the series, or can ZETA Division continue to try and run this back?
well, every round you get from here on out is a moral victory for ZETA. So they're having fun no matter what. You can see it every time on the cameras. Like, they got their map win on T1's map pick. So certainly have to be feeling good about today one way or another. Love to get the win, but that's a massive, massive hill to climb. 7 rounds in a row.
Depp just going to be scouting here.
Cutting through.
Sensing the presence, knowing that he's close. Depp running out of time.
I'm back.
Okay, tries to go for a catch there on a buzz. He's able to TP out just in time. Avoids capture. Does end up on the opposite side of the map, but for now, A site opened. ZETA will get the plant
Spike
down.
planted.
Dimensional drift of your own for Buzz.
Time to jump.
There you go.
The cut send through, double damage there on the Depp. Dimensional drift in play, just calling out the position. Depp has to exit, snaps back over it towards main. Sugar 0. Gonna be darted. This Buzz tries to open things up, tries to obfuscate, tries to blind as much as possible. 3 kills gonna be found. Man advantage right now for the side of T1. And as Buzz picks up a 4K, T1 will bring this series to its conclusion. 13-5. Dominant on Haven. Shown to be able to bleed, shown to be mortal in this series. T1 continue to struggle when it comes down to getting any kind of reasonable, quick, or clean closeout to a match here in Pacific. But the victory is theirs all the same. Commiserations to ZETA Division. A hell of a performance at times. As Haven, though, T1 are just a cut above.
Well, and I think my 2 big takeaways from today is, 1, ZETA looks really good. Like, they're much improved.
Yes.
That's very, very encouraging, I think, for this squad and their chances of, who knows, maybe even making playoffs here in Stage 1. And then also how good all of Pacific is. You know, everybody's pushing T1 to the limits here in Pacific. Everybody.
Yeah.
And yet they're still able to be that Masters champion. You can see that trophy to their left, the one they just won a couple weeks ago. Still able to find a great match win, but a nice return home for the best team in Korea, the best team in the Pacific, the best team in the world. T1 looks to continue on with their winning ways. And I definitely feel like they have to be one of the, favorites, of course.
For sure. Well, can't have a photo op without the trophy, and we can't have an interview without Jen Lee. So we'll send it down to her and hear from one of our winners.
승리 축하드립니다. 잠깐만요, 이주 선수 칼빵 한 번도 아니고 2번은 너무한 거 아닌가요? 재밌었나요?
근데 기회가 2번이나 와가지고.
알겠습니다. 메테오 선수 인터뷰 나눠볼게요. 이쪽으로 오시겠습니다. T1의 메테오 선수 만나보겠습니다. 박수 부탁드립니다. T1 picking up another victory. Now, congratulations, Meteor, on the win, but also being the first one to reach 2,000 kills in Pacific. How does that feel? 오늘 승리도 축하드릴 것 같지만 굉장히 진귀한 기록이 나왔습니다. 퍼시픽 최초로 2,000킬을 달성했거든요. 소감부터 들려주시죠.
벌써 2,000킬인 게 좀 믿기지 않는 것 같고, 그리고 또 2,000킬 한 날에 이겨서 기분 더 좋은 것 같습니다.
Oh my god, I can't really believe that I've reached 2,000 kills in Pacific already, and it adds to the moment being able to walk away with the win tonight. Now, Meteor, I'm pretty sure you're used to this. You know, it's kind of unavoidable coming back from a global event, making a really deep run. Of course, picking up the trophy, you know, having a target on your back. Everyone's done analyzing you, they have you figured out. So what do you think is the key to dealing with this sort of period when everyone's just kind of like ready to counter you, anti-strat you? 사실 피할 수 없는 게 이렇게 우승을 하고 돌아오면 지켜보고 있던 팀들은 거의 다 이제 준비를 끝내고 파회법을 찾아오거든요. 좀 메테오 선수는 작년에도 이런 경험을 했어야 됐는데 이럴 때 좀 어떻게 견디고 어떤 식으로 이겨내는 게 중요할까요?
사실 멤버들이 견디기보다는 이제 강코진들이 뒤에서 더 많은 수고와 고생을 해주고 있기 때문에 이제 멤버들이 쉽게 게임할 수 있는 것 같다고 생각하고, 솔직히 멤버들은 하라는 대로만 하면 되기 때문에 딱히 막 견디거나 버틴다는 표현은 맞지 않는 것 같아요.
I think it actually takes a lot of effort and work, you know, coaching staff crunching in the hours, and that kind of allows us to take this time easily and make a smooth run and kind of fight it off. So props to the coaching staff. Now, I want to talk about Waylay as well. I mean, you guys didn't have enough time to really implement her straight away, but what are the talks and what are the plans around Waylay? 웨일레이에 대해서도 여쭤보고 싶은데 이제 뭐 시간을 당장 이렇게 쓰기에는 시간이 충분하지는 않았지만 그래도 어떻게 평가하고 있고 어떤 얘기가 오가는지 들어볼 수 있을까요?
일단 스크림 하다가 만날 때가 자주 있는데 뭐 하면서 뭐가 좋고 뭐가 안 좋고를 지금 판단하고 있고, 저희도 쓸지 안 쓸지는 이제 지금은 말은 해드릴 수 없고 나중에 확인해 보시는 게 좋을 것 같습니다.
Well, yeah, recently we've been running into a lot of waylays when we're scrimming against other teams. We're still figuring out her place in the meta, kind of measuring the pros and cons. I can't really tell you what our plans are regarding this agent, but you'll have to wait and see. Now, lastly, Meteor, next up is 농심, a fellow Korean team. Anything you would like to say to them? 다음 경기 또 한국팀 농심이거든요. 하고 싶은 말이 있을까요?
그냥 재밌게 게임했으면 좋겠습니다.
Let's have fun. That's it. Now, everybody, that was Meteor, and that's us saying good night. 이렇게 해서 메테오 선수 만나봤고요. 저희는 내일 다시 돌아오도록 하겠습니다.
Well, T1 proving why they are the Masters Champions winner from the recent Bangkok event for a reason. Now, Haven was very much in their control the whole time. They didn't make a lot of changes since Bangkok, and obviously they didn't need to. A little buff to ISO helped a lot too.
Yeah, I kind of felt like, oh, there we go. Okay, we're back to reality. Okay, well, okay, T1 are really good again. Yeah, okay. Showing we ever doubted you. That's kind of what it felt like to me. A clear return to form. Very, very comfortable map for them. I love that they stuck to what they knew, and it paid off flawlessly. Again, they don't care if you know what they're going to do because you can't stop it.
Yeah, I mean, you saw ZETA have a couple of good reads. Even right from the pistol, they had like a full garage setup. They were ready to kind of counter that and flood garage with the util. They had a one-way Cypher cage as well, and they still just lost the mid-round and the XVX. And this was just one of those games, and you run into them as a team that competes where the other team is just that much better or has cracked individuals, and it doesn't even have to be some of the best individuals in the world. It can sometimes be, you know, a player who you underestimate on a lesser team that just has a pop-off game. This was a game where Meteor was just unstoppable, and then as soon as he slowed down, Izu started getting the multi-frags as well, and that is the firepower and depth that T1 has.
We did see a moment of a 13-0 from Meteor in his KD.
For a second there.
Yeah, rather magnificent from them.
Funnily enough, that's when he stopped. He was like, all right, I got the 13-0, I've sent the message. Someone else can close the game out now.
It was a very good performance by T1, and again, we could see it during the timeouts how good their spirits were throughout. But definitely props to the ZETA division coaching staff and the players as well. We're having a really good performance throughout the series today. I mean, this is a very good way to go into stage 1 for T1. We were talking about how much it would actually mean if they didn't win this particular match. Yes, there are other matches, but I think that changes your whole momentum coming into the stage 1 Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to start strong, right? I mean, like we say, you don't have to win every game in this format. It's a lot more forgiving than something like Kickoff, but
Yeah.
T1 have a message to send to the rest of Pacific that it's like, it's not we're the best region in the world, it's we're the best team in the world. We don't care about the rest of you. They definitely have to control the region coming from here. They're not going to be happy to fall by the wayside, let someone like DRX or any of these other teams take up their mantle as the best. You know, they want to prove it all the way through. They want to go as flawless as they can, and they started that today.
Well, Achilles did bet $200 to be donated to charity if Zeta Division ended up winning. I recently saw that Quack bet he would shave his head
If
Yeah.
T1 didn't get
if they
top 4.
did not make top 4. I
It's an
don't.
insane bet. It's
I mean,
so dumb.
He may as well shave his head because he clearly can't use it at the end of the day.
I laughed so much when I read that. I don't know what he was on.
I mean, yeah, these were just outstanding highlights here from Meteor. He was phenomenal. He went 13-0 in like 6 or 7 rounds, something like that. And this is just why it's